Across the borders, Country Garden, which is one of China's biggest property developers, has warned that it could see a loss of up to $7.6 billion for this first 6 months of the year. The announcement is the latest sign of the major issues faced by the world's second largest economy. Here are the details of this and other stories making headlines across the globe.
Fears that Chinese property giant Country Garden was preparing for a debt restructuring sent its securities to a record low and deepened concerns about the property sector outlook in the absence of stronger support from China. This week, official figures showed China had slipped into inflation for the first time in more than 2 years. Exports have also fallen sharply, while youth unemployment is at a record high. Shares in Country Garden holdings were down by more than 5% in Hong Kong trade. Country Garden is expected to record a net loss of about $7.6 billion during the first 6 months of this year. The expected loss compares to a $265 million profit for the same time last year. Elsewhere, India's Tata Group has unveiled a new logo, branding and livery for Air India as part of multi-million-dollar transformation of the former national carrier. The logo includes a design with gold and red and purple colors and will replace the old one of a red swan. The rebranding exercise comes years after Tata Group bought the debt-ridden airline in October 2021. The company will not completely do away with the airline's iconic mascot of a cheerful Maharaja, which has been one of India's most recognizable symbols. It also noted that Air India was also building new lounges at the Delhi and New York airports as part of its plans for a global lounge network that covered all destinations in its international route. Finally, millions of people have escaped poverty in recent years in Mexico, helped by rising incomes in Latin America's second largest economy. The number of people living in poverty fell by 8.9 million to 46.8 million between 2020 and 2022, the National Council for the Evaluation of Social Development Policy said. The percentage of the population of 126 million in poverty dropped to 36.3%, down from 43.9%. The improvement was due to rising incomes, better access to food, and wider access to social security among people aged 65 or older. The number of people in extreme poverty declined to 9.1 million, down from 10.8 million over the same period. Mexico hopes to benefit from the so-called nearshoring trend of U.S. companies like electric car maker Tesla moving their production closer to home instead of Asia.